Angry guy here, and modern women are wicked. Modern women are wicked. So, this is a topic that is really beginning to circulate. More and more videos are beginning to pop up from men and women who are just saying that modern women have become wicked. If you look at Candace Owens, she actually put out a video recently that's been blowing up where she said that women have become the modern day perverts. They are nasty. She shows pictures of how modern day women are dressing. You look at the award shows, you look at just in general, they are now walking around in see through dresses. And so basically, you can see their underwear everywhere they go. You look at Miley Cyrus. She was at the award show with her mother, the Grammys, recently. She won an award there. I don't know. I think it was one Grammy. I don't know if it's just one or more. But I saw her acceptance speech. And in her acceptance speech, she then has to throw out just something like, she's not wearing underwear or something like that. And I was just thinking to myself, bro, your mom is sitting right there. How can you do this? How can you behave like she just had hugged her mother? Like you just hugged your mom and you're behaving like this. And I'll say this right off the bat. Her mom seems like a decent person. And you don't expect this type of behavior from her. It's just crazy. And you can see that it is the absolute Jezebel spirit. Let's go ahead and jump into the videos because it is significant what we're witnessing in Western society today with modern day women.
Walls up, being insecure in our as women with our walls up, being insecure in ourselves, playing the victim is that's what causes our wicked behaviors. And we do have wicked behaviors. When we emasculate men, when we have misandry, the hate and contempt for men, the manipulation that we have as women, the facades we wear, the different games we play to trap men, those are wicked behaviors. So I understand that men are wanting to leave, to find other women, to escape that wickedness because it is soul crushing and emotionally abusive to men.
Something I want to talk about regarding a lot of this, you know, as men, I think it's important that we strive not to become the kinds of men that modern women will love. Because if you look at modern women and the kinds of men that these women love, I've said this before that men who are, 6 feet tall, men who have 6 inches, men who, can give them 6 inches, men that have a six pack, men that make above six figures, these so-called high value men, these are not the men that women actually love. These are the men that women will simply settle for. Plan B guys are the high value men that women are simply settling for. If you make $1 million a year, you are 6'1", you can give her 6 inches, you have a six pack, you have all of these things, you have influence and all of these things. Guys, you are not the highest of highest value men. You are basically just a status symbol for her. You are nothing more than a status symbol for her. That's it. You're there so that she can use you for your money. She could use you to show off in front of other women. You're a status symbol, all right. But you're there to look pretty for her. You're there to bring her money. You're there to entertain her. Every so often, if she gets bored and she doesn't have access to Chad or Tyrone, she may use you. Use you like you know, like a pocket pleasure device. But she does not actually love you. The men that she loves, Chad and Tyrone, Chad, Brad, Tyrone, Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Little Banjo. These men are not marriageable men, but these are the men that they actually love. But these are very toxic men. And as men, if we ever became the kinds of men that modern women love, we would basically be scumbags, because the guys that they actually love are scumbags. They're terribly toxic guys. These are not guys built for monogamy. They're not built for steady relationships. They are extremely dishonest men. These are these are men who are often very lazy. Of course they're fun because all they do is mess around. These are guys that don't take life very serious, and women know this. They absolutely know this, but these are the guys that they also want to have children with. They don't want to have your baby. What often happens is that you'll have a woman who goes and she'll get married to a man, a plan B guy, and then she'll turn around and let Chad, Brad, Ray, Tyrone, Pookie, Enrique, or even little Pancho go at it, and then she'll have, this poor bastard raise the child, and she doesn't see anything wrong with it because she says that she and I've read this. Women say this, you know, well, the man that she married, he does not have the genes necessary to produce good children, but he would make a good father. So she goes out and she deliberately has children with another man, with one of these, Plan S guys, right? Sensual guys, the guys that she actually loves. She goes and she has a child with one of these men, or multiple children, because that's what she'll do. She will deliberately avoid having children with the man that she's married to, with the man that she's in a committed relationship with, but she'll have him raise those children, provide for those children. Sometimes the courts will even say, well, find out that the child was never this guy's child, but they'll say, well, but you've bonded with these children, and as a result of that, it's important. We have to think about the welfare of the child, so you're gonna have to keep paying child support for the children that are not yours anyway. And the man goes, that's not fair. These are not my children, and we understand that, but we have to do what's best for the child. What they really also know is that the men that she had these children with, they're not going to collect child support from these men. They're not going to be able to collect child. These men, it's going to be, listen, they will try, but the chances of them being able to get child support from these men is going to be very, very difficult. Okay, because these are low these are low value men. These are 100% low value men. Women love low value men. All right, men that are typically considered low value on the social scale of being a man. Like, these guys are losers. Those are the guys that these women actually love, but they're not marriageable men because these men don't develop themselves in other ways. The only way they develop themselves is as F boys, and those are the kinds of men that women love. And modern women have become wicked, absolutely wicked.
I do this divorce documentary. I think that women are evil when it comes to divorce.
Oh, no, wholeheartedly, yeah.
I interviewed this guy. Oh my God, it was so sad. He literally showed me texts, like messages printed, because I make them bring in the document, because then people will say they're lying or whatever, so I make them bring in the actual documents. She literally said to her friend, I wish he would hit me, because she was trying to get him to hit her so she could take the kids and bring that to court.
Wow.
Even though
that is crazy.
She admitted to hitting him multiple times, and then she didn't let him see the kid for a year. And then she went to court, and guess who still got primary custody?
The lady.
Of course.
Isn't that crazy?
See, guys, that's the legal system for you. The legal system is a joke. The laws around us, they're not real. I remember Dave Chappelle talked about just how flimsy all this stuff is. It's very, very flimsy. The laws only apply if they say they apply. You have so many men who've gone through so many different things, and it doesn't matter because there are two different sets of rules. Women have special privileges and men have special punishments.
Your boy Javon J, and I'm back with another video for y'all. Alright, so we're gonna get right into it. She's possessed by the Jezebel Spirit. Alright, that's the type of woman I'm talking about. Much love to all the traditional women out there who knows how to play their role according to the Bible. A woman's righteousness is predicated on how obedient she is to her husband and how obedient she is to the body of Christ. Now, there's a lot of beautiful women out there on the outside appearance, all right? It's very hard to find a beautiful traditional woman who's beautiful on the outside and the inside and knows how to play her role according to the Bible. Now, this is not my words. I didn't make this up. I'm going according to the Bible and what God says. The role women should play and the role men should play.
And here's the thing. You look at this guy, you can see this is a decent dude. This is a very, very decent dude. But the problem is that modern women, they destroy men like this. They turn men like this into scumbags. But thank God that he knows God and he knows what's right. Because women do not have a connection to God. Modern women do not have a connection to God. They have a connection to the evil one. And when they speak of God, what they are really speaking of is the evil one. Because it's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of absolute BS. That could these women actually face? Y'all, could you imagine the kind of delusion they would face God with? And you say, like, how could God make women like this? They say God doesn't make mistakes, but he does make curses. And it's hard to say that these people are not cursed. It really is. The only curse that men are facing are dealing with the cursed, because this is not going to end well. Women who they cannot take accountability, they blame everyone for everything else. Guys, they're responsible for the fall of Rome, the greatest empire in the history of the world. They literally they tore it down. Guys, think about the Roman Empire. Right now, we are at the peak of civilization. We are actually living in the future, and our capacity to create is much greater than we've achieved. With things like AGI, artificial intelligence, with generative AI, it's insane. There's so much technology that we have that has not been put to proper use because of what's happening in Western society. A lot of it is because of women, and we're not focusing on things we need to focus on. But we absolutely have to have the technology to do unbelievable things. Just even look at the video game footage you're watching right now, and the physics engine, and all of this. And the thing is that we can surpass this. We're getting very close to things like lifelike visuals. Even this is very much lifelike. And who would think we would have achieved something like this 30 years ago? And we're at a stage now, of course, where we know for a fact that we can go beyond this. We know it. We just don't have the processing power. But the fact that we know what comes next is pretty amazing, even on this level. And we're at the peak of our civilization, just like Rome was. And women, they tore Rome down. The more rights that they gained in society, the more power that they gained in society, the more society began to crumble, and they tore it down and led us to the Dark Ages. And then during the Dark Ages, they would basically dance around in the streets like lunatics. The Dark Ages were some very, very dark times. And I sometimes see videos on YouTube where people try to say that the Dark Ages were not as dark as you actually believe they were. A bunch of different things happened during the Dark Ages. For example, there were monuments and buildings built, and people were still good at getting an education of some sort. Bro, they basically outlawed math and science during those days. It was absolutely, obviously there was still something that left over, but it was like, they didn't, we literally, science was like rediscovered by like after 1,000 years by like monks in a monastery or something. Like, it was absolutely madness. Absolutely madness. We lost all of that for 1,000 years. If that had not happened, we would not simply be 1,000 years ahead of where we are right now. We would potentially be more than 1,000 years ahead of where we are right now. I know you're like, how is that possible? Because the way that technology is advancing right now, we are moving faster. We're advancing faster than we typically would because of various advancements. How do I put this? With the introduction of the computer, for example, the introduction of the computer has resulted in our evolution moving ahead by hundreds of years. So, for example, prior to discovering the computer, prior to inventing the computer, we were behind. With the invention of the computer, we are now hundreds of years ahead. Hundreds of years. With the discovery of generative AI and the push towards AGI, that will propel us potentially hundreds, if not even 1,000 years into the future. I know that sounds crazy to you, but this is where we are at this moment. So when you think about the potential that was lost as a result of that 1,000 years of darkness, and they're advanced, you have to remember that we build upon the knowledge from the past. A lot of the knowledge from the Roman Empire was lost. When a lot of the math and science from the Roman Empire was lost, we basically had to rebuild from scraps, y'all. Like, are y'all paying attention? Like, everything that we have right now, we rebuilt from scraps, bro. From absolute scraps. Something isn't right. Like something is not right. We never take this into consideration. We're still discovering insane technology that they had in the Roman Empire. Like, they were likely going to develop, they had basic computers that did not use electricity. They had basic computers back then. I know you're like, are you out of your mind? No, not all computers need electricity. They had basic computers that could do computations back in the Roman Empire. This is over 1,000 years ago. Over 1,000 years ago, that could do calculations for stars and trajectories and all kinds of insane stuff. And this is just bits and pieces of what we found. And they achieved this over 1,000 years ago. So where would we be today? We lost all of these discoveries that they made back then, based on human history that culminated over hundreds of thousands of years. Women robbed us of that. And now we're going to be, and because of the lunacy that's happening, we're going to be robbed again and have to start over from square one. That's if we even survive. Nah, bro. No, bro. This just is not right. This just is not right. These people have become so wicked, and their wickedness is uncontrollable. Their wickedness is absolutely uncontrollable. They cannot control their wickedness. They cannot control it at all. And as I've said, men today cannot. They have to stand strong. Okay, I don't like using the term hold the line, but I'll use it here. Hold the line. Hold the line. No. Do not back up. Do not give them any more. Do not give them any more leeway. Do not become the kinds of men that modern day women love, because those guys are toxic. Those are the men who've led to the destruction of society. Those are the men who are helping to destroy society. Do not become these kinds of men. These people are very wicked people. Their hearts are wicked. They have the Jezebel spirit within them. We must not become these types of men, because if we become the kinds of men that they love, then we will become the kinds of men that are wicked, narcissistic, greedy, evil, and you lose your soul. What you gain the heart of a woman, but you lose your soul to the evil one. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already have, and liking the video and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Modern women are wicked. What do you guys think regarding this? I want to hear your thoughts on this, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.